Nigerian Vice President Yemi Osinbajo was in Washington Wednesday for talks with U.S. Vice President Mike Pence. Nigerian officials say the men discussed security cooperation and support for civilians displaced by violence. V.O.A's Peter Clottey sat down with the Vice President to discuss his visit, Nigeria's economy, and expectations for President Muhammadu Buhari's new cabinet.
Mr. Vice President, what is your message to the people of Nigeria? And if I may ask, everybody kept asking me, when will Nigerians see their next cabinet from your government?
Well, I think the message to Nigerians is that they have a government that is completely focused on addressing the principal issues that concern them: the economy, security, and corruption, governance generally. We recognize that there are many different voices and noises, but we won't be distracted by that. We're respecting the cabinet. As you know, that's the president's prerogative. I don't think people should be too worried. The most important thing is to have a cabinet that is representative of their views and that is capable of delivering the goods.
So, Mr. Vice President, how do you respond to critics who say your government, despite repeated promises, have yet to improve security in Nigeria?
We have the same concerns in northern Ghana, the same concerns in Mali, in Ivory Coast, where you find migratory herders who are coming to the south in search of water and pasture on account of desertification now and various problems. But the problem with these individuals who are migrating is that they are eating from the farms of the farmers. Many of them, and in many cases you find that they're armed, some of them armed because of cattle rustling, which they had experienced in various encounters with cattle rustlers, but also the availability of arms coming from the abandoned armories in Libya and all of that. The availability of small arms, which is also has made it easier for many people to access arms. So you find that the farmer-herder clashes is one distinct form of security challenges that we have, and we've had that in the North Central, where in Benue and Benue, Taraba to a certain extent also. But that's a very peculiar type of situation, and essentially it's a resource conflict. Sometimes people want to create the narrative that it's a religious conflict. But anyone who understands this well and who is not trying to be mischievous will understand first and foremost as a resource challenge, and that it has been so for several years.
Some people are saying the situation is difficult. How would your government help to jumpstart the economy, improve lives, combat corruption, social investment, as you rightly put it the other time? How would your government do this to improve the living conditions of Nigerians?
In our country, the bottom of the pyramid is the petty trader, the informal trader on the street. So working with the Bank of Industry, we targeted 2 million petty traders across the country whose inventories are usually not more than about 3,000 naira, 2,000 naira. And we decided that we'll give them, as I said, through the Bank of Industry, the sum of 10,000 naira to improve their inventories. And then when they pay back, they get 15,000, and they pay back 20,000, all the way up to 100,000. We found that that was an effective way of empowering our people, empowering the informal trader, who form the largest number of those who are working, but who at the same time are considered risky for any kind of credit facility. It was also an important way of bringing them into the financial net, so that in a more formalized system, where we're able to train them, where we're able to open bank accounts for them and all of that, and bring them more formally into the net, where they can become more useful to themselves and more useful to the economy.
That was V.O.A's Peter Clottey speaking with Nigerian Vice President Yemi Osinbajo.